My YouTube friends, welcome to my channel. In continuation of our review of the wars of mankind, we will be looking into the Cold War. We explain what Cold War means in global parlance, how it started, and all the issues and its impact in the world. If you are new to this channel, please make sure you smash the subscribe button and go to the comment section and say I subscribe, and we will try to reply to your comments. Cold War. The Cold War was a geopolitical conflict that lasted from the end of World War II in 1945 until the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. It was a state of tension and hostility between the United States and its Western allies on one hand, and the Soviet Union and its Eastern Bloc of countries on the other hand. The two primary players in the Cold War were therefore the United States and the Soviet Union. Other major players included NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and the Warsaw Pact, as well as key countries such as Germany, China, and Cuba. Some major events of the Cold War include the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Vietnam War, the Korean War, the Berlin Wall, and the arms race. The origins of the Cold War can be traced back to a combination of political, economic, and ideological factors. Some of the key factors include: 1. Ideological differences. The United States was a capitalist democracy, while the Soviet Union was a communist state. Both sides saw the other as a threat to their way of life and political system. 2. Post-World War II tensions. The Cold War was characterized by a number of proxy wars and regional conflicts, as both the United States and the Soviet Union sought to expand their influence around the world. Examples of such conflicts include the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. The Soviet Union suffered a significant loss of life and resources during World War II and was determined to establish a buffer zone of friendly states in Eastern Europe as a defense against future invasions. But the United States, on the other hand, saw this as an attempt to spread communism and Soviet influence beyond Eastern Europe. 3. Competition for global influence. Both the United States and the Soviet Union sought to spread their influence around the world, with each side supporting governments and movements that aligned with their respective ideologies. 4. Nuclear arms race. Both the United States and the Soviet Union developed nuclear weapons, leading to an arms race and the fear of a catastrophic global nuclear war, as both sides built up their military capabilities, including nuclear weapons. The fear of a nuclear war between the United States and the Soviet Union was a constant source of anxiety during this period. The Cold War officially ended with the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 and the eventual collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. However, tensions between the United States and Russia, the successor state to the Soviet Union, continue to this day. The outcome of the Cold War had far-reaching consequences for the world, including the spread of democracy, the end of the arms race, and a shift towards a more globalized economy. The end of the Cold War also marked the beginning of a new era of international relations, with the United States emerging as the world's sole superpower. What was the underlying philosophy of the Cold War? The The philosophy of the Cold War was based on the idea of deterrence. Both sides believed that the threat of mutually assured destruction would prevent the other side from launching a nuclear attack. The concept of deterrence was based on the assumption that each side was rational and would act in its own self-interest to avoid a nuclear war. As a result, the Cold War was marked by a tense standoff between the two superpowers, with both sides striving to avoid direct military conflict while seeking to maintain and expand their spheres of influence. The impact of the Cold War. The impact of the Cold War was profound and far-reaching, both domestically and internationally. Some of the key impacts of the Cold War include 1. The division of the world. The Cold War created a deep divide between the capitalist democracies of the West and the communist states of the East. These divisions shaped global politics for decades and resulted in the formation of military alliances such as NATO and the Warsaw Pact. 2. Arms race and military spending. The competition between the United States and the Soviet Union to build up their military capabilities led to an arms race and a significant increase in military spending. This had a significant impact on the domestic economies of both superpowers, with military spending often taking priority over social and economic development. 3. Regional conflicts and proxy wars. The Cold War was characterized by a number of regional conflicts and proxy wars, as the United States and the Soviet Union sought to extend their influence around the world. These conflicts had a significant impact on the countries involved and often resulted in widespread destruction and loss of life. 4. Space race and technological achievements. The Cold War also led to a competition between the United States and the Soviet Union to achieve technological superiority. This competition spurred advancements in fields such as space exploration, computer technology, and military technology. 5. Political and social impacts. The Cold War had a significant impact on politics and society in both the United States and the Soviet Union. In the United States, the fear of communism and the perceived threat of Soviet expansion led to McCarthyism and a crackdown on political dissent. In the Soviet Union, the authoritarian rule of the Communist Party and the suppression of political and social freedoms persisted throughout the Cold War. Overall, the Cold War had a profound impact on global politics and society, shaping international relations for decades and leaving a lasting legacy that continues to be felt today. From the Crusades to the Cold War, this channel has explored a wide range of wars, each with its unique set of circumstances and events. It is crucial to study these wars to understand the historical context and the impact they have had on the world, both at the time and in the present day. As wars continue to be a part of human history, it is important to keep studying and reflecting on their causes, consequences, and lessons. By so doing, we can strive to prevent similar conflicts from arising in future. Looking ahead, the channel aims to continue providing insightful and educational content on wars, exploring new and lesser known conflicts, and delving deeper into the ones already covered. Thank you.